Okay, hello everyone, guys. Hello everyone. Again, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, guys. How are you all? So, where are everyone? Hi, Hema. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. You guys, where are everyone? All the bankers, where are everyone? Okay, so we are going to start PPP from today, right? So this is the introduction class for all of you, right? Hi Krishna, hi Shashikala, good morning. So again, this is a introduction class for all of you, right? So first of all, I'm just going to give you the overview of this batch again in this before starting any unit. Okay. First of all, you will see that we have started this crash plus crackers batch, right? In which in every subject we are just going to give you a theory portion in the initial 15 to 20 days. So 15 to 20 days we are just finishing in a very fast speed everything, okay, every theory of the whole syllabus, right? Now I am just going to give you the thing that this is not for the detailed explanation of any unit, because for detailed explanation we already have the foundation batch, we already have the selection batch, we already have the success batch, in which I have taken time like 2 hours especially for AML and KYC guideline topic, right? So, detailed discussion we already have done in the selection, foundation, and success batch. So, this is a crash batch. Understood the concept of crash batch. Crash batch is actually just for your revision, whatever you have learned, whatever you have understood. I am just going to take time like or 3 units in a day, and I'm just quickly revising each and every thing of that unit, not the detailed discussion, not going in depth. Why? Because in depth we already have explained and given you the explanation in foundation and in success and crackers batch, right? Now, after the crash theory, okay, we are starting the practice sessions, right? So for example, in PPB, when we are talking about the PPB, module A has 21 units, very lengthy module. So 9 to 10 classes are dedicated to module A. Module B have 20 units, 9 to 10 classes. These are the lengthiest module of PPB, right? Module C, we have 9 units, all about technology. 5 to 6 class are enough to complete module C. And module D, 5 units, ethics, all about ethics. 2 to 3 classes are enough, right? Now, after this theory session, I'm just going to give you practice sessions, 10, 12 to 13 practice sessions from all module, and we are going to cover every MCQs like the top level case studies, the basic level, every type of MCQs in these 12 to 13 sessions, right? Plus, if we talk about the module wise weightage of the PPP, see, module A and B, these are the most important module of all, right? But I always recommend for the bankers that make either A or B as your favorite. Choose one module from A or B and go in depth to that module, right? If you are choosing A, then go in depth to A and just read out only B. But if you are choosing B, go in depth for B and just read out only A. Okay. C and D are very compulsory because these are very scoring plus very easy topics, right? So the combination is like either go for A plus C or plus D or B plus C plus D. These combinations are enough for cracking your examination, right? Okay. Are the PDF of the crash part? Yes, yes, Sharif. Definitely. PDFs are good enough to complete your syllabus. Yes. Okay, so can we start? This is the basic introduction for all of you about PPB. So let's start with the very first unit. So this is the first unit, module A, banker customer relationship, very important unit. Let's start discussing with this thing, right? First of all, what is the basic function or what is the bank? What is the basic function of the bank? So what is bank? Bank is that institution which is accepting deposit from the public for the purpose of lending the same in the market. That is called as the banking. Banking is when you are accepting the deposit from the public for the purpose of loan or investments, right? That is called as the banking. And other than this main function, acceptance of deposit for the purpose of lending, we have different other functions also, like the providing locker, safe custody, collecting bills, checks, etc. These are the other functions of the bank, right? Now, when we are talking about who is a customer, so in a bank customer relationship, who is actually a customer? So for KYC purpose, for any purpose, when we are talking or when we are defining the customer, so customer is actually first of all that person who is having the direct relationship with the bank. Like I am going to a bank, I'm saying that I want to open an account and I am having a direct relation with the bank. I'm opening my account in the bank. So that is called as what? That is called as a customer, means I am a customer of the bank. Second, beneficial owner means on whose behalf the account is maintained. Sometimes the person is not maintaining the account directly in the bank. So either the financial intermediary or any other person is actually maintaining the account of that person. For example, there is an industry and that industry has an account in a bank, but that industry is not going to a bank that okay, I want to deposit money or I want to take out the money. No, on behalf of that industry there is a CEO or anyone who is managing the account of that industry. So that industry is not having the direct relationship, but that industry is the beneficial owner, right? And that industry is also called as the customer of that herd. If your transactions are actually managed by any professional intermediaries like the stockbroker, CAs, or solicitors, then you are also called as the customer. Means, for example, I am a very big client. I have an account in the bank, but my account is not managed by me directly. I have hired a professional intermediary for managing my account. So the beneficiary of that account is actually me. So I am also termed as the customer of that account. Plus, if there is any person who can pose a risk, either reputational or financial risk to the bank. For example, I am taking any type of loan from the bank. Okay. Now, I can impose a financial risk to the bank. Maybe I can just turn out to be a fraud person and I can just run away with the money. Okay. So, because I can impose a financial risk to the bank, so I am what? I am a what? I am a customer of a bank. Right? Or for example, I am doing any transaction from for to a bank, and if I can just impose a reputational risk means my work is actually affecting the reputation of the bank, then also I am considered as the customer of the bank. So the customer either having the direct relationship or on whose behalf the account is maintained, like beneficial owner or the beneficiary of any account which is maintained by the financial intermediary or professionals, or any person who can impose the reputational or the significant or other risk to the bank. All are termed as the customer. And for each and every customer, KYC, know your customer policy, is must. Okay. Now, Next thing is the relationship. Let's talk about the bank customer relationship. First relationship is a debtor and creditor relationship. So in the normal scenario, what we have learned that customer is a debtor and bank is a creditor. Debtor is the one person on whom the amount is due, whereas creditor is the one person who is giving you the amount, right? So in the normal circumstances means when the bank is actually giving loan to the customer. Okay, now bank is providing loan to the customer, so the loan is the amount which is due on the customer side. So in this case customer is a debtor and bank is called as the creditor. Good, cool, nothing very difficult here. But in this case, vice versa is also true. Vice versa means now there is a customer who is actually depositing their money into a bank. Like I'm a customer, I'm opening a saving account in the bank and I have deposit my 5 lakh rupees in that saving account. Now, customer has deposit money into the bank. Now, see, in this scenario, the money is due on the bank because whenever customer demand you have to return that money, yes or no. So bank is called as what? Bank is called as debtor in this case and customer is called as creditor in this case. So in debtor creditor relationship vice versa is always true. Means when the bank is giving loan to the customer, so bank is a what? Bank is actually a creditor and customer is a debtor. And when you just deposit your savings in the current account or saving account in the bank, okay, means when the customer is depositing money into the bank. Now in this scenario the money is due on the bank, so bank is called as a debtor and customer is called as a creditor, right? Now the next relationship is acting as a trustee. Now, when the bank acts as a trustee, so a trustee is the one person to whom we can trust. So, bank acts as a trustee where customer keeps their valuable thing for safekeeping in the bank, right? For example, a customer is depositing their property paper for the safety of that papers in the bank. Customer is depositing shares or securities to the bank for the safety and security of that particular valuable items. Now, in this case, because customer is trusting bank with their valuable items, and that's why the bank is actually called as a trustee to whom we can trust. Okay, next. Baylor Bailey concept. Now, Baylor Bailey concept, before that, we just talk about what is bailment. Bailment is actually the delivery of good from one person to another person for some specific purpose. For example, A is giving goods to B for some specific purpose. Okay, that is called as the bailment. Okay. Now, in the bailment, there are two-person, bailer and bailee. The bailer is the one person who is giving goods. Like in this scenario, A is giving goods to B. So A is called as the bailer. And one who is receiving the goods is called as the bailee. Right? Now, in the bank customer relationship, see, when customer is depositing their valuable items like securities or documents or bonds or any type of paper for safekeeping of that particular things with the bank. This is actually a delivery of good by the customer to the bank for the safety. So there is an objective that the customer wants safety of that particular good. So the customer is delivering goods to bank for the safety of that particular good. So that is called as bailment. Okay. Now, in this scenario, because the customer is giving their valuable items to the bank for the safety and security of that valuable item, because the customer is giving. So, customer is called as what? Customer is called as bailer, the one who is giving, and bank is receiving that good. Bank is responsible for the safety of that good, so bank is called as the bailee and the contract is called as contract of bailment. So in this case, bank is also called as a trustee, bank is also called as a bailee, and the customer is called as the bailer. Clear? Next, agent principal relationship. Now, what who is an agent and who is an principal? So, principal is the one person who is ordering agent to perform certain functions on his or her behalf. Whereas agent is that person who is following the orders of the principal. Okay. So in bank customer relationship, bank is always acting as an agent and customer is always acting as a principal. Customer is instructing bank to perform certain functions on his or her behalf. Like bank is responsible, for example, bank is responsible for submitting insurance premium on the behalf of the customer, or bank is responsible for the clearing and collection of the check. Bank is responsible for the bills, electricity bill payment. So customer is ordering bank that please pay my electricity bill, telephone bill, insurance premium, club fees on behalf of mine. So because customer is ordering bank, so customer is the principal and bank is following all the orders of the customer. So bank is called as an agent. Bank is called as an what? Bank is called as an agent. Okay. So this is the agent principal relationship. Next, lesser lessee concept. Now, just please listen. In Baylor Bailey concept, who is the Baylor and who is the Bailey? So Bailey was the bank because bank is receiving goods for the safety, right? And who is the Baylor? Customer. In lesser lessee concept, always remember bank is the lesser. Bank is the lesser and customer is the lessee. Okay. Now, this is the scenario when, see, bank has a lot of deposit lockers with themselves, right? And bank is giving deposit lockers to their customer, okay, for the safety and security of their valuable jewelries or anything, right? Because in this scenario, see, bank is giving the deposit locker to customer on a lease, okay, for the safety of their valuable jewelries, etc. Right? So because bank is giving, so bank is called as the lessor, and the customer is receiving that deposit locker on a lease. So customer is called as a leasee, and customer is responsible to give lease rental to the bank. Okay. So in Baylor Bailey concept, customer is giving securities and shares and bonds to bank for the safety. They are not submitting that in the deposit locker. No. They are giving that items to bank for the safety and security. So customer was the bailer and bank was the bailee. But in lesser lessee concept, customer is giving, so bank is giving that deposit locker on a lease to the customer, right? So because bank is giving, so bank is a lesser and customer is receiving. So customer is a leasee, right? So this is the lesser lessee concept. Now, indemnifier and indemnified. Indemnifier and indemnified, before that we have to understand the contract of indemnity. Okay. Now, contract of indemnity where one person promises to another person. One person make a promise to another person that if you suffered any loss from any third party, then your loss will be reimbursed by me. That is called as contract of indemnity, right? So here one person is promising another that if you suffered any loss from any third party, then your loss will be recovered by me. That is called as contract of indemnity. And the one who is promising is called as indemnifier. And the one who received the promise that my loss will be compensated is called as indemnified or indemnity holder. Okay. Now, in the case of bank, bank is always indemnified, means one who received the promise that his loss will be compensated. And customer is the indemnifier. Now, what is the scenario? So the scenario is, for example, the customer has a demand draft, okay, and the customer lost the original demand draft. Okay. And he goes to a bank requesting bank that please issue me a duplicate demand draft. Okay, because customer has lost the original demand draft, customer goes to a bank and says that please issue me a duplicate demand draft, right? So the bank says that okay, I will issue the duplicate demand draft to you, but before that you have to sign a contract of indemnity where you have to promise me, means bank, that if that original demand draft is found by someone, because you have lost it, so if that original demand draft will be found by someone and that person actually misuses that original demand draft and due to which bank suffered loss, then this loss will be compensated by you. Just sign this contract of indemnity, and if you signed it, I will issue the duplicate demand draft. So the customer has to sign in that contract of indemnity where a customer is assuring bank, because the customer has lost the original demand draft, customer is assuring bank that I am promising you that if that original demand draft by found by anyone else and due to which bank has suffered the financial loss, that loss will be compensated by me. So that is called as the contract of indemnity. And because the customer is promising bank, so customer is called as the indemnifier. And because the bank is promised, okay, that his loss is compensated, so bank is called as indemnified or indemnity, right? So this is the bank customer relationship. So this all relationship is actually listed in this one whole chart which I have given to you, right? Now next thing, the different type of deposit services which is available with the bank. So you know that we have two type of deposit services: demand deposit and time deposit. Demand deposit means those deposits which are payable on demand, whereas time deposit means those deposits which have a fixed maturity type period, means they are paid only after a expiry period. Okay, that is called as time deposit. So FDs, where you have a time period like this FD will mature in 3 years or 5 years, that is called as time deposit. Whereas demand deposit means your money in the current account or saving account. Okay, these are demand deposit because these are repayable on demand. Whenever customer want, they can just have the excess of their money. That is the demand deposit. So demand deposit attracts low or sometimes no interest, whereas time deposit attracts high interest rate. And the time period of the time deposit is varies from 7 days to 120. Okay. Now, demand deposit, we have two type of demand deposit, the current and the saving account, right? Current and the saving account. So, current account is actually for managing your business transaction. If you want to manage your business transaction, then there is a current account which is offered to you. Whereas to inculcate saving habits in customers, there is a saving account which is offered to you. Okay, these two accounts are the demand deposit accounts, right? Current account, in current account, bank is paying no interest to the customer, whereas in saving account, bank is paying interest to the customer, right? So this is the complete chapter. Now, if you have any doubt in the whole chapter, please feel free to ask your doubt. Now, there is some other concept like lease financing and merchant banking. For this, we have a whole different chapters. So I have skipped that portion because we have the whole different chapters based on that. Okay. So if you have any doubt in the whole chapter, please ask. No doubt, please give me a thumbs up, everyone. So there are again 20 plus bankers currently watching this session and only 3 bankers has given me a thumbs up. So if you have any doubt, please ask your doubt. If you don't have any doubt, you have to give me a thumbs up. Everyone, I am waiting. Okay. Everyone else, everyone, just please don't make me repeat words again and again because see, I am on fast, right? You know that Ramzan is going on. I am on fast. I have to take a lot of lectures in the whole day. So kindly just please don't make me repeat words again and again. You just have to give me a thumbs up. Okay, when you are satisfied, if you don't have any doubt, you have to give me a thumbs up. If you have any doubt, you are free to ask your doubt. I am here to cater your doubts. Don't worry. Okay. So Lakshmi, Preet, Mugdha, Shashikala, Daman, Krishna, Gopal, everyone. Okay. So no doubt everything is clear. Can we move to the next chapter, next unit? Unit second, that is AML and KYC guideline. Yes or no? Can we move to this next chapter? AML KYC guideline. Okay. So let's start this topic. AML KYC guidelines, right? First of all, in this we are going to discuss this topic, money laundering. Okay, so money laundering means the process of laundering the dirty money. Laundering means cleaning. So when we are laundering our cloth, means we are just removing the dirt from our cloth, right? So money laundering means the dirty money means the money which is actually originated from some illegal activities, like drug trafficking or like any illegal activities, right? So, from any illegal activities, when the money is generated, that money is called as dirty money. And when we are cleaning that money, it means that we are infusing that illegal money into the financial system of the economy in such a way that it is actually appeared, or it appeared to be generated from some legal activities. We are just making the illusion that this money is actually generated from some legal activity. So we are just trying to clean the dirt of that money, and the process is called as the money laundering. The process is called as the money laundering. Now, when we are talking about the money laundering, there are triads in money laundering. Triads means there are three important things which are very interconnected to each other: money laundering, financial crimes, and terrorist financing. When we have the dirty money are utilized in a lot of financial crimes also, and these money are used for funding the terrorism activities also. So the growth of terror financing and financial crimes are because of the what because of this money laundering activities, right? So money laundering, financial crimes, and the terrorist financing are the three important triads which are closely interconnected with each other. Okay, next. So, for managing money laundering, so because a lot of people are involved in the money laundering process, and because it is a very serious offense, it is actually a criminal offense. So, all over the world, there is an organization which is called as Financial Action Task Force. Financial, sorry, Financial Action Task Force is actually responsible for what? Financial Action Task Force is actually responsible for combating this what? For combating this money laundering process all over the countries. Okay, so they frame guidelines and standards and procedures all over the world to just cater and to just combat this money laundering cases all the world around, right? Next, when we are talking about the stages of money laundering. Now, what are the stages of the money laundering? So, see, there are basically three stages of the money laundering. The three stages are placement, layering, and integration. Now, first of all, see this man. This man is earning money from illegal activity, which is called as dirty money. So the man earned the dirty money from illegal activity. Now, this man just infused this money into the financial system of the economy. Like this man opened different bank accounts, okay, and just put this money into the bank account. So this is known as the placement. Placement means placing the dirty money into the financial system, right? Now, after this man just tried to hide the source of this money. And that's why they just what layer this money with some good transactions so as to hide the source of this money, or they just move this money to different bank accounts so as to avoid the origin from where the money has come. So this is known as layering. And finally, this man do what? This man just combine all the bank account and just collect all the money in one account and just utilize that amount and invest it in some legal business or just purchase some any assets. Okay, so this is known as integration, means finally the money is utilized for some legal activity. The complete process is called as money laundering stages. So, first of all, it is a placement. The dirty money is earned. Now it is infused into the financial system by opening different bank accounts. Right? Now, after placement, it is layered to hide the source, original source of this money. This man just move this money to different bank account or layer every bank account with some good transaction to hide the original source. And finally, this man just integrate all the money in one account and then just utilize this money for purchasing any asset or just invest it in some legal business. That is called as integration. So three stages: we have placement, we have layering, and we have integration, right? Now next, there are stages of terrorism financing also. So three stages of money laundering, four stages of terrorism financing. Now, what are the four stages of terrorism financing? First of all, the money is being raised, raising money. So, terrorist organization does what? They first of all raise money from their own sympathizers who have sympathy with that for particular terrorist group. So, terrorist organization just raises money from different part of the world from their sympathizers. So, this is the first step, raising. Second, they just move that money to the place of origin. For example, that terrorist organization based on USA. So that terrorist organization is not only raising money from USA but all over the globe, right? Now, from all over the globe, the money is actually moved to USA, the place where that terrorist organization is actually located. So after raising money, the money is moved. Third, now the money is being stored in a different bank accounts or investments, because when the terrorist organization are raising money, they are raising money for some specific purpose. So until that specific purpose is executed, that money is being stored in different bank accounts or in different financial investments securely. And finally, the time comes when the terrorist organization are using this money for carrying out their terrorist activity. That is called as the stages of terrorism financing. Three stages of money laundering: placement, layering, and integration, right? Four stages of terrorism financing: storing, okay, sorry, not storing. First of all, tracing, then moving, then storing, and finally utilizing means using, right? So, four stages: financing of terrorism, three staging, money laundering, right? Now, next. What are the objectives? Why you want to prevent money laundering? Obviously, we want to prevent money laundering because we want to prevent criminal elements from the society. We want to just prevent any type of criminal activities that happens from the money laundering process. So we have to prevent that. We have to safeguard our society from spreading of criminal activities. We have to save our economy from any type of financial crimes, and we have to save the terrorist funding also. For all these purpose, money laundering is actually prevented. These are the objective behind preventing the money laundering. Okay, next. Now, this is very important. Okay, anti money laundering framework. So, you know that Financial Action Task Force is responsible for formulating guidelines all over the world for prevention of this money laundering. And based on FATF recommendation, India also have this anti money laundering framework and guideline, right? So now, based on the recommendation of FATF, what are the anti-money laundering guidelines which are actually used in India? First of all, we have Financial Intelligence Unit India, FIU India. Financial Intelligence Unit India has been set up by the government to receive information about any type of suspicious activity that is going on in the bank or financial institution. So, as a banker, if you have any suspect in the account, if you think that there is something wrong in that account, right? So, if there is any suspicious activity, any financial transaction which you suspect that there is something wrong in that account, you have to send the details immediately to Financial Intelligence Unit India. Okay. Then there is an enforcement directorate which is responsible for investigating the money laundering crime. So once the information has been received by FIU India, now there is an enforcement directorate who is investigating and prosecuting authority for any type of money laundering crimes. Then there are special courts which passes the judgment that whether you are guilty or not guilty. And if you are guilty, they have the power to freeze the assets also which you have purchased from this money laundering crime, right? And finally, there are regulators of various business which are useful for executing all the compliance which you have to follow under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and rules and regulations. So they are regulators of every business and organizations which helps their business to just follow all the orders which are present in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and Prevention of Money Laundering rules, so that they are prevented from any type of these what suspicious activities, right? So these are called as the regulator. So in anti money laundering framework, there is a Financial Intelligence Unit India, then there is an enforcement directorate who is investigating, then there is a special courts who are passing judgments plus freezing the assets, plus there are regulators of the various business to just help them execute all the obligations which are present in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and rules and regulations. Right? Now, there is a money laundering offense. Now, what is the money laundering offense? Very important thing. What is the money laundering offense? So, money laundering offense, Section 45 defines, Section 45 of PMLA means Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Section 5 defines money laundering as cognizable and non bailable offense. It means that cognizable means you are arrested without any arrest warrant. If any suspicious activity, if you even anyone has a doubt in you that you are engaged in the money laundering crimes, right? That you can be arrested without any arrest warrant. This is the cognizable. So, cognizable offense and non bailable, you will not get bail in this case, right? So, this is section 45. And section 4 of this act says that there is a rigorous punishment for the money laundering cases. So if you are found guilty, you can sent into the jail for a period of not less than 3 years and not more than 7 years. Okay, 3 to 7 years. But in some cases, this can be extended up to 10 years also. Okay, so this is section 4 and this is section 45. Clear? Now, next. So next, before starting this know your customer policy, if you have any doubt till now, please feel free to ask your doubt. Everyone. So till now, if you have any doubt, please ask. Till money laundering, whatever I have explained, if you have any doubt, kindly ask. No doubt, just please give me a thumbs up. Anyone? If you have doubt, please ask. No doubt, just please give me a thumbs up. Everyone. Section 4 says that money laundering is a cognizable and non-bailable offense. Means you, if you are involved in this case, you are arrested without any arrest warrant, that is cognizable, and you will not get bail. That is not bailable. Okay, done. Clear? Yes. Can we start this know your customer policy? Yes or no, everyone? Can we start this know your customer policy, everyone? Okay. Okay, so let's start this know your customer policy. So see, know your customer policy is what? Before this KYC norm, when any new customer want to open account in a bank, either the verification is taken from any employee of that bank or from any existing customer, right? The verification is done in such a way. But this is the process which is actually not accountable and not feasible for every cases. Like if you are opening the new branch, then how you can just take the verification from the existing employee or the existing customer, because you have opened the new branch, you don't have any existing customer. So for easing this verification process, the customer are now have to go through those know your customer means KYC guidelines. Know your customer policy is actually a mandatory process for identifying and verifying the client's identity. For example, I am going to a bank and I am saying that my name is Afreen Ma'am and I want to open an account. So now the process of checking my identity and claim, that if I'm claiming that my name is Afreen Asmat, then I have to prove it that my name is Afreen Asmat. So my identity is actually identified and verified by the bank through this process, which is known as Know Your Customer Policy or the KYC policy. Clear? Now, next, what are the key elements of the KYC policy? So these are the four key elements of the KYC policy. First, the customer acceptance policy. Customer acceptance policy means the customer need to be accepted as a customer. Okay, it means that, for example, I am going to a bank and I'm saying that my name is Batman, or I'm saying that my name is Superwoman, or I'm saying that my name is Spider-Man, or I'm saying that my name is Disney, I am Prince. So if I'm just taking such a fictional name or anonymous name, or I'm just saying that I have no name, just open my account. So in this stage, you are not even accepted as a customer. The bank rejects you. You even not accepted as a customer. So at the very first element of the KYC is the customer is need to be accepted as a customer. Bank first of all accept you as a customer. If you have present any fictional name, anonymous name, or you have no name, then your account cannot be opened. You are not even accepted as the customer, right? Second, identifying procedure. Now, whatever you are claiming, I am claiming my name is Afreen Aspan. Now I have to prove that. So now, whatever the proof I have present, like I have present my Aadhaar card, passport to you. Now you have to check that whether the card is authentic or not. So first of all, I need to be accepted as a customer, and then I am to be identified. means my identify or my identification is to be checked and verified by the bank. That is the customer identification procedure. Now the risk management. First, I am identified. After I have been identified, now on the basis of my transaction, I am defined into a high, medium, or a low risk customer. For example, I am a jewelry shop owner. I do various transactions in cash, right? So when I'm dealing more in cash, then I am a high risk customer to the bank. For example, I'm a normal government employee. Okay, I have account in your bank. I'm doing very simple transaction. I'm not dealing in cash. Okay, so I'm a very safe customer, means a very low risk customer. So depending upon my profile, the bank is categorizing me either into a high, low, or medium risk customer. Okay. Finally, after the categorization, my transactions is monitored. Now, whatever the transactions I am doing, prevent any type of money laundering or financial crimes or terrorist financing, my all transactions have been monitored, right? So this is known as the elements of KYC. Okay, so first is the customer acceptance policy, identification process, risk management, and monitoring transactions. Okay, next, organizational setup for anti money laundering. Now this is again very important. So, Prevention of Money Laundering Act actually says that every organization should have these two designation for the anti-money laundering guidelines. Now, what are these two designations? Designated director and principal officer. Designated director is appointed in a bank, and the functions of the designated director is, first of all, DD checks that you have a proper appropriate functional setup for carrying out your KYC requirements or not. They are checking your infrastructure. You have good computer in a good condition, you have software that you just able to go through all the KYC and AML requirements correctly or not. Second, you have to keep your KYC policy updated. That is checked by the designated director. Third, designated director also check that you have a skilled staff or not for executing the AML and KYC guidelines. And finally, you have the suitable measures with the changing complexities of ML and TF. Because when we are talking about money laundering and terrorist financing, every day the attackers are coming up with a new technique of money laundering and terrorist financing. They are not using the old techniques, right? So there are changing complexities of this money laundering and terrorist financing. So DD ensures that you are very well aware or you have such policies which are adapted or which understand the complexities, changing complexities of ML and TF, so that you can just quickly recognize the pattern of the money laundering, right? So these are the functions of designated director. Now, principal officer. What are the function of the principal officer? First of all, the first function is they monitor the implementation of policies. So whatever the KYC and AML policy which is mandatory for the bank to follow, the PO just say that or see that or monitor the implementation of these policies. Second, the principal officers just report the transaction to the Financial Intelligence Unit India. So if there is any suspicious activity, they just respond or just report or share the information to FIU India. Then they have to maintain a direct relationship with the law enforcement agencies. They have to, PO have to submit the periodical report, okay, to the top management. And finally, they have to keep all the AML monitors updated, right? So these are the functions of principal officer and these are the functions of designated director. And these two must be appointed under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act obligations. Okay. They both are actually at the same level. There is no designation that is come that DD is greater than PO or PO is greater than DD. Nothing. They have different what? They have different functions. Okay. ED is Enforcement Directorate, which is not here. Okay. Now, there is an anti-money laundering team also, which every bank has to set up. Every bank has to set up designated director, principal officer, and every bank has to set up the AML team also. Now, what are the functions of the AML team? First of all, to review and update the KYC regularly. Okay, to guide the customers about the identification procedure. Okay, to undertake the money laundering and terrorist financing risk, to assist the business and operation units, to monitor the transactions, to submit any type of reports to Financial Intelligence Unit India. Right? Done? Done. So these are actually for the anti-money laundering AML. Okay, next. Now, what are the obligations under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act? Very important. Obligations. First of all, the bank has the obligation to verify the identity of the customer. So, if you have a customer, beneficial owner, you have to authenticate the Aadhaar, passport, or any of the official valid document which is presented to you by the customer. So first step is to verify the identity of the customer, to verify whatever the documents that has been given to you by the customer. This is the very first obligation of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Second obligation, the bank has to maintain the record of all the transaction for a period of 5 years for the from the date of transaction. So if there is any transaction that is done by the customer with the bank today, so bank has to maintain the record of that transaction for a period of at least 5 years from the date of transaction. And third, bank has to record the identity documents also for the period of 5 years after the closure of the account. So if I have the relationship with the account, means I have the continuing saving account with the bank has to maintain the documents of mine for the complete time period, because I am still the customer of the bank. But for example, now I just close my account with the bank today. If I close my account with the bank, so from the date of the closure till the period of 5 years, bank has to maintain the records of my documents. Okay, so these are the obligations under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Done. Next. Now there are risk management. Now, risk management, first of all, under when we are managing the risk of the customer, because the third most important element of the KYC is to manage the risk of the customer, right? So, under risk management, we have 5 steps. First is the risk based approach, means bank should have a proper risk based approach so as to identify the risk. So, bank has certain procedures, set rules, guidelines that helps the bank to identify the risk, to control the risk. Bank should have such approved policies which help to mitigate the impact of the risk. So these risk-based approach, if you have a proper policy, you just identify the risk, mitigate the risk, control the risk, and manage the risk. That is the risk-based approach, right? Second is the risk assessment. Risk assessment means, now after you have identified the risk, now the bank should take proper measures to lessen the impact of the risk. Mitigate the risk means to lessen the impact of the risk. Means, for example, if you identified that yes, there is money laundering or terrorist financing which are going on in this particular account, now you should have such policies which actually lessen the impact of this money laundering and terrorist financing. First, you have identified the risk, then you have to measures to just reduce the impact of that risk, right? Third, customer categorization is done. So the basis is depending upon your transactions, how you are executing your transaction. a customer is divided into a high, medium, or low risk customer. That I have already explained you. And every review means once you have classified your customer into high, medium, or low risk customer, there should be a proper review of the risk categorization that should be carried out in every 6 months. Then you have to introduce yourself with new technologies to prevent any type of risk. And plus, you should train your staff and hire the staffs and should train your staff to just follow this anti-money guidelines, plus to lessen the impact of any type of risk in the bank. So these are the 5 steps under the risk management. Clear? Next, now if you have any doubt till now, please ask your doubt. Any doubt? Now, if you have any doubt till now, please feel free to ask your doubt. Or no doubt, just please give me a thumbs up. Everyone, you guys. Till here, if you have any doubt, please ask everyone. Hema, Mohan, Shirish, Shankar, Krishna, Vijay, Gopal, Mugdha, everyone. Everything is clear? Yes or no? Done? Everything is clear? Okay. Now, we are just finishing this chapter right now. We have still some topics left, like respondent bank, reporting obligations, and the compliance, right? So, we will discuss these topics in the next class because the time is now over. So, I have to finish this chapter right now. The rest part of this chapter I will be completing in another class. Okay, so I hope that everything is understood till now. Yes or no? Krishna, Shankar, Preeti, Hema, Mugdha, Shirish, Mohan, everything. Right? Yes or no? So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. Okay. And again, it's a request that if you are satisfied with the teaching, you have to just please give me the ratings and feedbacks, right? So, in the upper section, you will see the star ratings. Okay. So, if you are satisfied with my teaching, okay, if you have understood whatever I have explained to you, just please go to that rating button, just please give the star ratings to the sessions, okay, and please leave your feedback. It is very important for us educator. Thank you so much everyone whoever has joined this session. Take care guys, thank you so much, take care everyone, bye bye, bye everyone, take care, bye guys, take care.